So, we're writing a piece about birds. I think it may be my most original idea yet. In fact, I can't think of a single piece about birds. Come to think of it, I can't think of any saxophone pieces about birds either. All right, that was my intro. So we're back with Art Beyond the Ink. I wanted to quickly outline my ideas for this piece because I feel like maybe we've lost track of the structure, and also I've written more of it. Let me put up a bit of a graph, probably like right here. And so we're going to have 4 movements, and we are composing the softer, emotional movement. So this is probably movement 3. This movement is called Congress. It refers to a congress of crows. I also learned that instead of a flock of flamingos, you call it a flamboyance of flamingos, which is fantastic, obvious. And the first movement is going to be called The One That Can't Fly. And that'll be a bit of a bari sax solo against the other 3 saxophones, kind of the ugly duckling situation. Yeah. So those are our 2 movement ideas so far. The other 2 movements we'll just have to find out about together. All right, everyone, we're back. Let's get right into it. This is the 3rd movement, Congress. All right. So that's where we're at. I think we're pretty close to the end of this movement. I think we might even be able to finish it in this video. That'll be pretty cool. The first thing I want to do, and this will come as a shock to many of you, I'm deleting these lines at the beginning. If you remember from the earlier videos, these lines were what I wrote on the blank page. We made a whole video of me writing them. That's just kind of the way it goes in composing, is that you move on from one step in the process to another. Without writing these lines, I couldn't have composed the music that came after them, right? But at the same time, there really isn't a place for these exact notes in the piece now. So you have to kind of do the difficult thing and delete them, really. I could keep them around and keep exploring them, but I think this is the language of this movement. I found that language, and now the movement's written. The beginning of the piece is actually here, which is measure 6 right now, but I'm deleting, there it goes. And now we have the true beginning of this movement, which is this first saxophone entrance. We also, you might notice there are some key issues, some range issues with the bari sax. as well as the alto sax is a bit high. So at the end of this process, we're going to move everything around in terms of the transposition. Chances are that'll happen again when it shows up to an actual player, and I find out that some of these, the fingerings between certain trills aren't working and that kind of thing. There's a good chance it gets modulated another time. That's okay. That's totally part of the process. Right now, it's just about the big picture harmony, getting the piece down on the page, and then we can move it around as needed. So at this end bit here, I'm thinking I want the trills to continue, but happen slightly differently, a bit slower, and that'll happen twice, and that's the end of the movement. I mean, it's really in and out. I think I'm going to put it in 3/4, just to change up the feel of the meter a bit, and also extend each of these entrances of the trill, because here the trills enter every 2 beats, so here we can make it every 3 to feel like we're sort of expanding, we're settling down into the ending. I think I want actually a bit of a fade out coming from the first saxophone down, and then it happens again, and the bari sax lands on the correct note. Okay, let's give it a listen. All right, everyone. That's the movement. So yeah, next week we'll move on to probably the first movement, the one I mentioned, the one that can't fly. That'll be pretty cool, right? And a huge thank you again to Art Beyond the Ink for giving me this opportunity to compose and to share it with you all. And yeah, can't wait to see you again. Thanks.